There were many themes and symbols that were important to Poe, and one of those was time. He had had a tragic childhood and a tragic life, adolescence, and he realized that life was short and it was important to cherish your time. You can see this in the Mask of the Red Death in the clock, for it is a symbol for life itself. And this can be seen when the clock finally goes out after every single person in this building has finally died. You can also see an example of time in the hallways. For each different hallway represents a part of a person's life. For blue is the beginning, and black is the end. And the end is empty, but the beginning, all the way to, except for the end, are filled with life, and they're filled with noise. However, the partygoers aren't necessarily cherishing this moment. The only time you do see them actually stop and think about how their life is and how little time they have is when the clock rings. For every time the clock rings, they all stop and they listen to it. And some bow their heads and think reverently, and then when it's over, they laugh it off as if nothing happened. For they say it won't scare them next time, but it does every single time. For they're all thinking about how their life can be short and that they need to cherish it more than what they're doing now. Another example of a symbol would be the eye. The eye represents a window to a person's soul, and whenever we want to get someone's attention or we know someone is hiding something, we say, look me in the eye, to get them to tell us. Well, it can be seen that without an eye, a person is considered suspicious and scary. For in the Black Cat, the second cat had already lost its eye, and the man had taken the eye from the first cat, which made him feel guilty, but it also made him uncomfortable around the second cat. And it might have been because this cat constantly wanted his affection, but the man couldn't trust him because of the lack of an eye. And then another example of an eye being considered suspicious and terrifying is in A Telltale Heart, where the unnamed narrator, kills the old man because he has a strange eye that he describes as a vulture's eye. And vultures are carcass eaters, so that's considered bad because it's just not great to be considered a vulture. And then if it's a vulture's eye, it can be considered a bad human being's eye. So a bad person is what that could be taken as. And that is why time was important to Poe, and how eyes are a window to the soul and can be represented in his work.